Hello! Today is a very nice sunny day, and the reason why I am here today is because I realized that in the past few months I implemented small changes into my everyday life that I feel like had a huge impact on how I actually lead my everyday life and how I spend my days. You might not even know about these small tricks that you can do to make your everyday life more enjoyable and just in general better. You can always start with small changes in your life, then you might be encouraged to do bigger things if you are successful at these small changes. These are just tips that are not necessarily connected, they can be implemented just on their own as well. That is our goal today, to make your everyday life better, essentially, which is always pretty cool. So the first tip that I have is that you could try waking up early. The reason why I started with that is because your day starts with that. What is so great about waking up early, or at least waking up earlier than you should, you are gaining control over how you can spend your time. It is really significant how you start your day. And if you are starting your day with not wanting to go to school and not wanting to wake up because you have to go to school or you have to go to work that you don't enjoy, you are not gonna be able to start your day off with something that you like. You are not gonna be really motivated to go on with your day effectively. Just in general, you are not gonna feel the control over your own life. A small tip that I can give you for waking up early, well, besides going to bed early, which is actually very important in order to get up early, when your alarm clock goes off, then don't think about going back to sleep and don't think about just pushing the snooze button. Instead of that, you can try just getting up and drinking a big glass of water. You can be really dehydrated in the morning, and that might be a reason for you to wake up harder and start your day harder with a not really pumped mood. So to wake yourself up, instead of just starting with a coffee, drink a big glass of water. And another thing that I should mention regarding water is that you shouldn't stop drinking it just because it is not morning anymore. It can actually help your mind stay awake. You will be much more focused, you will be much more awake the entire day if you are drinking water. And the second tip that I have, that I actually already touched on a little bit, is that you should be starting your day with something that you really love. So something that is worth waking up for. That even might be just waking up to have a cup of tea or to watch the sunrise, or if you are really pumped in the morning, then going for a run. If these little rituals become habits, then you will be able to wake up much easier in the mornings. And if you start your day by doing something that you really love, then I can assure you your mood will be much better the entire day. Plus, there is something very empowering about having done really cool things that you never really had time for by 10 o'clock in the morning when other people are just waking up. So moving on from the morning rituals and the morning habits, if you have been always planning to do something during the day, but you never really got to it and you never really had the time, you should start doing that particular thing. For example, exercising, which I think is the hardest one that most people struggle with. You should try to make it a little habit. And if you try this, you will see, for example, doing yoga or doing just a 20-minute exercise every day is much easier than trying to do a 60-minute exercise 3 times a week. I think that the easiest way to implement a new activity into your everyday life is by making it a small everyday habit, even if it's just 10 or 20 minutes of exercising, of reading, or of studying even. And my fourth recommendation for making your everyday life better is to go outside every day. I didn't realize how much it can affect your mood if you don't go outside and if you don't really see the sky, up until I started living in apartments that have only windows to courtyards. This is actually a better apartment in that sense, that at least it has a bigger courtyard, so it lets in more light than our previous apartment did. But the main thing is, that when we moved into an apartment with a courtyard view, first few months we didn't really feel the need to go outside, but after 4 or 5 months we started dreaming about having really big windows and stuff like that. And I really started to feel bad about myself if I didn't go outside. And that is how I got into the habit of always trying to go outside. Even if I feel tired, even if I don't really have to go outside that day, and if I studied all day and I'm really tired and I don't want to do anything, I think it is best if you go outside, and you will feel much better and your mind will even be clearer. You will be able to think much better. Plus, it is very good for your eyes if you are looking at a computer all day to go outside and to look in the distance. If you are looking at the computer, you are always watching it from a certain distance. Your eyes should be used not only for looking close, but to look in the distance as well. And if you don't have the chance to go outside during the day, then it is a great tip to try to start running in the mornings. Because when I was running in the mornings every day, I really felt like that really put my mind into place. I always felt like, okay, now I can really work, now I don't have to worry about going outside, now I don't have to worry about anything else because I have already exercised and I already have been outside, so my mind is really in a good place. One other thing that I can recommend on the going out front, if you didn't really manage to go outside during the day, then you can always go out on the weekends for a bigger hike. Really ironic to hear that coming from me, because I really disliked hiking when I was little. And I really disliked hiking up until about 2 years ago, when something really snapped in my mind and I started really craving hiking, and I really felt like I started to understand what is going on with wanting to go in the nature. Because when I was little, I was actually afraid of having to go on a hike because I really hated getting dirty, and I really hated the fact that I was in the nature. Like, what is in the woods? Nothing is in the woods, nothing is exciting there. I could be home, I could be reading, I could be doing so much more than just, I don't know, looking at mountains and stuff like that, which I didn't really appreciate back then. But now I realize that if you go out for an all-day hike, then it is pretty great. So if you are going on an all-day hike, then it can set you for about 3 days for not having to go outside, but it is always best to go outside instead. And another tip that I read about actually is that you should start writing your own journal, which is really weird, and you wouldn't think that that could help make your everyday life better. But the truth is that people are really forgetful, and it is very easy to forget how much you have grown or how much has changed over even 1 month. It is pretty neat if you can go back and look at what happened 1 month ago, what you were worried about 1 month ago, for example, and you can really reevaluate how you think about situations and how you are behaving in situations. If you have been really behaving in a way that was unreasonable, that didn't really make sense, and that was not serving your long-term goals at all, then you can reevaluate that if you look at it in your own journal. This is my journal, by the way. It is really pretty. I think it is nice. I started on the 7th of September, and now it is the middle of October. So you should limit how much you are writing each day at first, because that is how it always works with journals. At least that was how it was for me, is that I was really motivated at first and I really started writing a lot on the first day, and after that I really got lazy with it and I didn't even want to bother. So it is best to just start small again, and you should try to make a habit out of writing your own journal. So you should write your journal, for example, right after you have brushed your teeth. That way, that is something consistent that is already in your life, and you can link writing your journal with that. The whole point of this video is not to overwhelm you with really long-term goals, but little small changes that you can implement easily into your life, and they will really make your entire day much better. So I hope you find these tips helpful. If you try to implement them in your life, then please let me know how that goes. And if you have some habits that you think are really helping to make your everyday life better, then please share them with me, because I am very interested in those as well. As I said, to me, these small changes made great impacts on my everyday life. Thank you for watching. Have a very nice day. And yeah, and I'm really happy that the sun is shining. It is so much better when the sun is shining outside. This is what I look like in natural light, by the way. Cool, huh?